Hello and welcome to the Do Not Disturb Football Podcast. I am your host, Drew Pelter. In the red, that is Darian. Let me refresh these boxes here really quick. We had a last-second cancellation from Nimmer for this show. He has a dog at home that is sick. They're at the vet right now. We wish them a speedy recovery. It came up really last minute. It sucks because this is our mid-season show and we have a lot of fun things to talk about.
Mhm.
But I definitely understand that, you treat your dogs like family. That's something you can't really predict, and you have to tend to the dog. So wish them a speedy recovery and a lot of love coming from this show for sure.
Absolutely.
So we have our mid-season review today. This has a lot of different things involved. We made a lot of takes earlier in this year, just before the year started. During the season, we're going to revisit some of those takes. We're going to give you some of the worst and the best takes. We're also going to be talking to you about some of the season awards that come out for the players, including MVP, Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, a whole bunch of different things. We'll talk about the season MVP as it stands right now and what we think the future is going to look like. And of course, we got that hot take and rage cage coming right
Oh,
at
yes.
you. So, Darian, I'll start with you. How are you feeling today?
We're feeling good. I was really hyped for this episode, especially for the segment that we're going to get to later on about our takes and seeing what's been the best, what may be the worst, and I definitely have a couple that I'm having a hard time swallowing. But no, overall should be a really fun episode, and be back here with you and eventually Nimmer, hopefully tomorrow. But I know, unfortunately, with the circumstance of Amux, um, so hopefully just Amux has a speedy recovery. We're all praying for her and sending much love to her as well.
Yeah, I am right there with you. You are not alone with those bad takes. I gave out a few. I think we all did. So I'm really excited to revisit some of those. It's kind of funny. Take a look back at those. Unfortunately, we had a bunch of graphics planned for you. Since we had this last minute
Mhm.
situation, there's really nothing I can do about the graphics. They're all on Nimmer's computer. There's really nothing we can do. So it's going to be mostly a listening show for those that are listening. You're in the right place. Just plug those headphones in, get back to your work shift, whatever you're doing, and just have us in your ear for the rest of the night or the day or whatever time it is for you. Let's get into the injury report before we get into all the fun stuff. There's really not a ton of injuries that I saw that are new. There are some Panthers wide receiver Deontay Johnson. He's questionable with a rib injury. We'll talk about him here in a second. Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins. He's questionable with a quad injury. Rico Dowdle. He was pulled very last minute due to an illness for this last Cowboys game. And he's still questionable. I don't really know what that illness is. Two really sad injuries for the fantasy season. Houston Texans wide receiver Stephon Diggs tore his ACL. He is out for the season. And this one absolutely breaks my heart. I had to drop him on the waiver wire this morning because he's no longer playing. Jaguars Christian Kirk breaks his collarbone, and he is out for the remainder of the season. He is a guy that I've had on my team for 2 years in a row. He's never been like the wide receiver one for me, but he's just been that guy. I don't know why. I like picking him in the middle of the rounds and seeing what he can do for me. Last year he did well. This year it was kind of up and down. We wish him and Stephon a really speedy recovery. And then Giants running back Tyrone Tracy Jr. He suffered a concussion last night when Cameron Hayward landed on top of him. So he looks like he'll probably miss this next game. I would love for him to play, but I would imagine that he's going to miss this next game. They're playing right again on Sunday, so that's not a huge time to kind of get back into things if you have a bad concussion.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Pick'em League really quick. So I have officially taken over the second spot.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy is in the first spot, so she's riding through this season with the hot hand. She's doing really well. Uh, Interesting. I found out who BA Degenerate Gambler is. That is David Oliveri.
Oh, okay.
He popped into the DMs over the weekend and he said, just so you guys know, you guys all picked the Vikings over the Rams, and I picked the Rams. And I was like, why was that? And he was like, well, interesting stat. Every team that's played the Lions have gone to lose their next game. 0-5 on the season. So if you lose to the Lions, you're losing the
Really?
next game. So
Yeah. Shout out David for that.
shout out David. Shout out you, Nimmer. Hopefully everything is going good for you. We love you, buddy. But it was an interesting stat by David. I didn't know that, and I guess that's something to pay attention to. I guess it's still riding true because the Cowboys coming off their bye week, they lost to the Lions, and they just lost again. Oh, my screen's doing all this weird shit. But I don't know why my screen does this.
Like, how does that work?
I don't know. I don't know what I did. I don't know. I thought that was like a FaceTime thing. I didn't think that was an OBS thing. It makes no sense to me.
Well, because you had the balloons, and then now you just
Yeah.
had the thumbs up.
I don't know how that happened. I don't know how to turn that off either. So, but let's get into the balloons will be coming. I don't know how to do it. I have to throw
Just
up some gang signs
raise up the
again.
hands.
I don't know what I did the last time for it to happen, but um, let's talk about the big trade that happened today. So this happened right around like 3 o'clock my time, probably two your time, and over on the West Coast like 1 or noon. Panthers trade Deontay Johnson to the Ravens. It seemed like to me this was a response to the Chiefs. The Chiefs have gone out. They traded for DeAndre Hopkins last week. They just traded for a pass rusher from the Patriots, Uche. If you watch the Pat McAfee show, Bill Belichick was on that show praising him and saying that the Chiefs are going to be even better with him. So that's awesome to hear. And today, the Ravens, they go out and they trade for Deontay Johnson. So let me get your reaction to this, Darian. What was your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, like like you mentioned, maybe it's in reaction to the Chiefs still bolstering their team, being 7-0. They're still making moves, and the Ravens were like, "All right, we've proven that we can be a top dog in the AFC. Let's bolster our offense." I mean, you have Zay Flowers, who's been boomer bust, Bateman, who's really been explosive for deep balls. Um, so, I mean, adding another piece in Deontay Johnson, I think, is a fantastic move. I think the Panthers are kind of a joke of a franchise because they gave him up for literally nothing. I think it
Nothing.
was like a fifth round pick,
Yeah, it was a fifth round. Yeah, fifth round pick.
just an absolute like poverty move by them.
I don't know
Like
what they're doing.
they're just selling everything. I don't know. They're just a poverty franchise, just making dumb moves. And then every wide receiver's going to the AFC. This
Yeah.
It's crazy to see. Nobody's going in the NFC. I think it was just Jahan Dotson, and that's working in the Commanders' favor now. So I don't know. It's weird. I think the Ravens wanted to, just counteract the Chiefs, add something to that offense, have some consistent wide receiver pieces outside of Zay Flowers and Bateman.
Yeah. It's interesting because he's a different kind of receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a possession guy. He's not really a burner. He's not someone that's going to take off on you. He can run good routes. has had some issues with drops, but um, it's a really interesting move. Um, I wonder who it helps in the offense the most. That is kind of my question. Does this
I think it
open up?
helps himself.
Yeah, I wonder if it opens up a little bit for Zay on the other side, or maybe in the middle with Mark Andrews. He's kind of been on a hot streak, so
Yeah.
I don't know. It's an interesting move. I'd like to see where it goes. I feel really bad for Bateman. I feel bad for him the most because I feel like these past couple of games he's been doing really well. He had that one drop that kind of sealed the game this last
Mm-hmm.
game. He said that the sun got in his eyes. I believe him, but um, yeah, I feel the most bad for him. Hopefully, he's still involved in the offense.
Yeah,
Um,
I think he will. I mean, he's maximized the targets that he's received in the past couple of games. I know. I think it was the game before he was 4 for 4 and over 100 and some odd yards. So when he's getting the ball, he's catching it. Unlike what you just mentioned, like in the Browns game, unfortunately dropping it. But when he does get the targets, he's maximizing it. So that's what you could wish for, especially for somebody who is as explosive as he has been. So, you know,
some of the other things that happened this weekend: the Jets, they lost again to the Patriots this time. One of the weaker teams in the NFL. Jets lose to them. It's about that time to say it, Aaron. This would have never happened to Peyton. This would have never happened to Brady.
mm,
Enjoy retirement here soon. Uh, Jordan Love, he got injured in the win over the Jags. This is the second injury of the season. This is my quarterback on my fantasy team, so I already
mm,
lost all my hair that I had, so I can't lose anymore. So I guess that's a good thing, but it really sucks, Jordan Love. I wish you would just stay healthy. Lions, they continue to roll. They dismantle the Titans, absolutely destroy them 52-14. Um, Cardinals eke out a win against Miami. The Browns get a good win against the Ravens with an upset. Lad McConkey has a breakout game for the Chargers. 2 touchdowns on the day. Looked really in sync with Justin Herbert. The Bills rolled on the Seahawks, beat them pretty easily. The Niners beat the Cowboys. Niners moved to 4-4, and Dallas moves to 3-4. And then probably the most exciting thing that happened this weekend was the Hail Mary. Uh, did you get to watch that Hail Mary, Darian?
absolute pain. I watched 99.9% of the game. It got to the 3 second mark. I was like, damn, that's game. There's no shot. So, and Sam's like, these games take forever. And I was like, oh, I know, babe. We'll watch a movie now. So I turn it on to some scary movie, and I get that ESPN notification, not like a half a second after I change it, like Hail Mary, Commanders win the game. And I said, no damn way. I missed the most exciting part of this game. The game was mid the
Yeah.
entirety.
Yeah.
Like besides Swift's long run, like the 70-yard run, it was just a monotonous game. I was like, all right, like we're up, we're hitting field goals, cool, waiting for something exciting. And then I miss it. I turn off the game
I
and
can't
miss the
believe you
most
missed
electric
that.
play.
I can't believe you missed that play.
And then Devin calling me a fake fan. I'm sorry, this is all new to me. We've never had
Oh.
this many wins in my time.
Have
I'm
you
just
ever
used
cheered?
to
Have you ever cheered for a team where something like that happens, like a Hail Mary, like that happens?
like you cheer for them.
Like, have you ever watched it live and that's the team you're going for?
Honestly, no. I think it would have been my first time,
Oh man.
but I mean, I've seen like random games. I'm not like really watching it for anybody, and
Yeah.
just like watching the game. Like you go crazy because it's like, oh, what a play!
Yeah.
But when it's your team that wins, it's a whole different feeling. Especially if you were in the stadium too. Like I would have went bonkers. Have you seen the guy who was getting interviewed?
Mm.
So, dude's getting interviewed by I don't know what news outlet, but he was like, "Man, I'll tell you what, like it was a pretty good game, Honestly, I really felt like we won." And as soon as he said, "I felt like we won," Noah Brown caught the touchdown, and like the whole stadium erupts, and he's like cheering on the guy next to him, and he's like, "See what I said? We won! We won! I called it." It was one of the funniest like live reactions
That's
to
awesome.
their team winning. So, but
I don't
yeah,
know
we
if I don't know if teams like have set up Hail Marys like that before or if that's the first time I've seen it. But it looked like they had a couple of receivers in the middle, Noah Brown in the back, and a receiver in the front for
mhm.
the tip situation, which was interesting.
I think they probably learned that from rugby because you know how in sevens we would do that. One would go behind, one guy would attack the ball and try to
Mm.
tip it backwards or forward, and either guy on their team is trying to receive it if it goes overhead or in front. But what's really funny is that Stevenson, the corner for the Bears, he I guess came out in a presser or even Eberflus was like, yeah, he was supposed to be the one to box out Noah. So he was supposed to be right on Noah's hip.
And
But he decided, huh?
it looked like he was the one who tipped it.
He was. He I think just because he was taunting, didn't realize where any like his assignment was. He was like, "Oh, I guess I just
God,
got to go make a play." And then ended up giving up the touchdown. So it's karma, instant karma for taunting our fans and then you lose the game.
that is such a horrible luck, man. That is so bad. If I was Eberflus, man, he would quit the team because he would be like, I can't do this anymore, and I'd be like, no, you got 10 more of
You're
them.
running gassers the entire practice.
I think it would be like a 10,000 yard bear crawl if I was the coach. I'm not even kidding. You're doing bear crawls for the next week,
Dude.
and you're probably
Yeah.
benched the next game because you're tired from the bear crawls.
Speaking of being tired,
Yeah.
AR, what the hell was that?
Oh my gosh.
To sub yourself out on like a third down and goal or whatever the circumstance was. Like I wasn't privy to it until I saw the reports and I was like, this guy took himself out of the game.
I think that has a lot to do with why they're starting Flacco.
It doesn't make sense. Like you as a QB are like the only one on the offense that should not be tapped out, or the O line and the QB. You're in every rep unless you get hurt. Like wide receivers, running backs, they're running routes, they're running and doing extra stuff, but to sub yourself out,
His problem is, man, he doesn't make the smart play ever. He's always trying to be Superman. And like it's awesome when it works, but 9 times out of 10 it's not working and you look terrible. Like that play, he ran backwards like 10 yards and then sidestepped someone and made all these moves, did like a cutback and went to the outside like a jump cut. He did all these moves and wasted all this energy for not even a yard.
crazy.
And like you're already playing bad, you're having a horrible season. You make a play like that, and then you're like, I'm tired. I'm gonna step out of the game. I think that has a lot to do with why Flacco's the
Well,
starter now.
100%. That it's just like a young kid thing to do. Like
Yeah,
it just doesn't make sense. You're leading a franchise. It doesn't make sense to sub yourself out, and you're doing too dang much. Just if you're gonna improvise, run out of the pocket, dish it out of bounds if you're not gonna make a yard or find a receiver. Just throw it. You're out of the pocket, lose the down anyway.
I think everybody inside the Colts organization probably a couple games into the season we're thinking Flacco's the better QB.
You can't even trade him. Like he has
No,
no value anymore. Ah,
I don't even know what you would do. It's crazy because they drafted him, pairing him with Steichen because Steichen and Jalen Hurts were so good together, and they were thinking that's a similar model with Anthony Richardson, and he could throw the deep ball. I'll give him that. He has a great deep ball,
mm-hmm.
but other than that, you can't throw the deep ball every play.
It's a shame.
Yeah, it's craziness. But let's get into our first topic of the day. So this is contenders or pretenders. I'm going to throw out some random teams, and I want you to tell me if this team is a contender, meaning they're going to make a Super Bowl appearance or have a chance to make a Super Bowl appearance, or they're a pretender, meaning they're going to flame out here. They're not going to do well in the playoffs. They're not going to come close to the Super Bowl. Are you ready?
As best as I'll ever be. What we
All
got?
right. First team on the board, the Houston Texans.
Hmm. I was high on them at the beginning of the year. I called them contenders then. I don't know if I can call them contenders now. So they're on the rise. I think they're going to be contenders soon. But right now, this season, they're pretenders. I think just with Diggs being injured, you got Collins on IR. Hopefully, he comes back with the same energy that he had earlier in the season. That could possibly make them contenders. But at this given point, I think there's just too many, like, there's missing pieces that need to be worked on to become contenders.
Yeah, I think the only chance they have at becoming a contender is if Nico comes back and he's 100% and their offense looks similar to what it did the first couple weeks. Their defense is surprisingly pretty good this year.
Yeah.
So maybe down the line they could become a contender. But right now, yeah, I think they're a pretender as well. Second team, your Washington Commanders.
Oh, God. I feel like a little kid again. I'm watching them. They make me excited, but you can't just flat out go into that delusion of saying this is our year. We're Super Bowl champs. We got a shot. No, we got a rookie QB at the helm. I don't think a rookie QB has ever made it to the Super Bowl. Air maybe Ben Roethlisberger his second season, like 2006, whatever year that was. He might be the anomaly, but I mean, I don't think with our defense, it's not gonna lock up anybody in the playoffs. I think we could be a one and done appearance this year. I think currently we're at what, the second seed, so I think we're pretenders right now.
Hmm.
But I think in the off season, teams are going to see how excited the team is. The culture is different. I think that's what's going to bolster our odds next season. And we have some good off-season moves, bolster up the defense, get some solid secondary, beef up the O line, maybe add one more wide receiver in the draft if we want somebody young. I think then next year is the opening to the Super Bowl window.
Well, I'm here to tell you right now, Darian, your Washington Commanders are contenders. I truly believe
Ooh,
that.
okay. Come on now.
I I think with the numbers they're putting up offensively, this is one of the best teams in the league offensively. They are putting up points with the best of them. They played a close game with the Ravens. That is going to be one of the best offenses you see in the league, and they hung in there right with them. The big challenge they're going to face is if they run into the Lions. That'll be a
Yeah.
matchup where they're probably going to be a little short-handed. But if that's not until the NFC Championship, well, then that's a pretty good year for the Washington Commanders. I think the NFC is wide open outside of the Lions. It's a lot more wide open than the AFC. So really, like you talk about some of these other teams in the NFC, I think they stack up pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I was just trying to be a realist, temper my my expectations. But I mean, I'm all for it. I want them to be contenders. Come on now. Like the real me is like, hell yeah, we're gonna win the Super Bowl. Like we in this. Like I'm gonna get a whole new jersey to put up on that wall. We're gonna have
Oh
Sean
yeah.
Taylor, Jaden Daniels. We're gonna have all 53 motherfuckers who started on this
On
in
the
this whole
ceiling.
room. Yeah, every square inch about to be Commanders.
Their defense looks good too. I mean, I think their defense is coming up with some timely sacks and interceptions, and
Dude, Luvu and Wagner are the duo I didn't expect, but they're what we needed.
I like the way Luvu plays.
Luvu's filthy.
And that D line is still pretty good.
It's wild because it's what Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler, Jerzon Newton, Deron Payne. I'm trying to think of the other defensive end. Um, they're like not really big name guys, but they're getting after it.
It's cool to
Like,
see. I
mm-hmm.
love I love those short videos that come up where it was Payne, right? That was like, I'm tired of this shit.
That was Jonathan Allen. Yeah.
Oh, that was Jonathan Allen. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of this bullshit. I've been here so long. And
Seven
then they
years.
and then
It's
they
the
show
same shit.
the highlights from Jaden Daniels, and it's just like such a good feeling.
It is. It's so good.
Next team, a team that is not very far from there, the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're contenders through and through. Um, I mean, I know we were shit talking how they were running Henry in the first couple of snaps of the first game against the Chiefs, and we are like, oh, he doesn't fit the mold, he doesn't fit the system. But we had so little faith in Harbaugh. This man knew exactly what he was getting into when signing him, know how to scheme it up for him, and look at him, he's RB1. So and then Lamar's QB1. I mean, when you have that duo, you're contenders. And then the only thing that's kind of faulty is your defense. But I mean, if you're scoring tons of points every week, you're gonna end up finding yourself with a W. So I think they're contenders.
Yeah, their offense is legit. I mean, they are really good. Probably the most dynamic offense we've seen from the Ravens in the past 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a like you have the leading rusher right now with Derrick Henry. You have Lamar fresh coming off of an MVP season last year. Looks like he could win the MVP again this year. You just traded for Deontay Johnson, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews is starting to score again. The O line worries me,
Mm-hmm.
and the defense worries me. But like you said, I mean, if you can hang in every single shootout, you have a chance.
Yeah, you just
So,
need one good stop in a game and just execute off of it. So
so we got
continue.
contenders for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah,
What about the Philadelphia Eagles?
man, they're the team that scares me in the NFC East. When fully healthy, which they are now, especially that offense. I think Lane Johnson almost had a pretty bad injury during the game against Cincy, but I think he's healthy, still good to go. That offense scares me. The same thing with the Ravens. The defense is what concerns me, going forward if you're like a true playoff team. But they're pretty sneaky. They're middle of the pack. They're actually on a decent streak, defensively wise. But get the coverage down. I think they'd be a pretty good contender going forward. So I hate to say it, but when fully healthy, I think they're contenders.
Yeah, I agree. I thought they would win against the Bengals this past weekend. Um, I did think it was a little surprising how wide of a gap it seemed because they just came off that game with the Browns the game before, and that was kind of a pretty boring game with Deshaun
Mm-hmm.
Watson starting, and they barely beat the Browns really. So I thought that was going to be an interesting matchup, and really, Eagles looked clearly like they were the better team.
Mm-hmm.
They're similar to the Ravens. They can hang in a lot of shootouts, and they have two guys in the backfield that are stupidly dynamic.
Yeah.
And their receivers, I mean, AJ Brown is so good,
Hmm.
and I love Smith, Devonta Smith. What about the Atlanta Falcons?
Damn, I don't know. I know we talked about the NFC South being a foot race, and it's kind of shaping out to be, but I think Atlanta is, taking that one step above. If it wasn't for the Bucks losing Mike and Godwin, I think it could have been a split 1-for-1 in games. I think Atlanta took both by, I think it's overall 10 points in the two matchups. So it's still kind of a foot race between the two. They're still both good teams. Damn, a part of me wants to say they're contenders. I think they can.
Hmm.
I think this could be the team for Kirk to actually lead further into the playoffs. It'll be a hard one, but I think they possibly could be contenders.
Hmm.
I'll give them contenders.
Yeah, I think they're pretenders. I like their pieces on offense. I like London. I like, even though I wouldn't have said that in the beginning of the year. I like Kyle Pitts. That should have been a fumble this past weekend. I like Bijan. I love Bijan. I've made that pretty clear. They have some surprising stats on defense. I think they're one of the top 10 defenses against the rush,
Mm.
and their pass defense is kind of iffy, I feel like. Um, I think they're pretenders, though. I think they look good right now. They're putting up good offensive numbers right now, but there's a certain thing about Kirk. I love Kirk, but he when those lights are bright, he starts to turn into a deer, and
He
he can't
chokes.
he can't see very well.
Hmm.
And I mean, you've seen the way the seasons ended with the Vikings, where he had that check down to Hawkinson on 4th and 20, and it was the end of the game. I could I could see an ending like that again.
Mm.
The Minnesota Vikings coming off of that loss with the Rams.
There's a 2-game skid. Mm. That defense, people are finding the crevices. They're exposing. They were ranked the second best in rush defense, and then Gibbs popped off for 80 plus.
Mm-hmm.
Kyron Williams popped off for 90 plus. They're figuring it out. I think they're pretenders, and I'm gonna lean into it. I think that they got to change something up because that offense took a 180 in the Rams game too. They were coming out, they were rushing, they were throwing it, they dotting up the Rams secondary. But in the second half, they just looked completely different. They just looked like hogwash. So I think people are figuring them out. Their steam may be coming to an end. So I got them as pretenders.
I have them as pretenders as well. I said a couple weeks ago one of my hot takes was they're going to be a one and done playoff team. I think that is definitely the case. At the end of the day, Sam Darnold's just not good enough. I like what I've seen from him this year, but he's an average quarterback. I mean, him and Purdy are like right there. Some of these guys, they just can't hang in with the best quarterbacks in the league. I'd rather have Purdy, to be honest.
I can agree.
The last team, the Buffalo Bills.
Man, mm. This one is kind of hard.
That's why I saved it for last.
This one is kind of hard because in the past 2-3 years, I was on Bill's Mafia gang. I was loving the broken tables, everything, saying it's the Bills year, calling my shot. Bills win the Super Bowl, and they just don't show up. You go into overtime and you lose. Like that's just the crux to Josh Allen. But right now, I mean, the AFC East, it's the Bills to lose. They're 6-2. Everyone else is 2-6. So I mean, you got a clear division winner right there. But the AFC, it's tough sledding ahead. If you get into the playoffs, damn, Drew, you got me kind of stuck. I'm gonna say, and I hate to say it, they're pretenders.
Ooh.
They're pretenders. They're flirting with it. They're getting everybody excited. Josh Allen's playing great. I'm gonna give him his roses. But I mean, has he? I don't think he's thrown an interception yet. Still,
He just threw
so
his first one.
he just threw his first one. So I mean, look at that. I mean, still having a great season, MVP candidate for sure. But I think they're just flirting with it, flirting with the idea of being a Super Bowl contender. I don't think it's their year.
Yeah, it's this was the most controversial one. That's why I saved it for last. I'm gonna say they're contenders.
Mm.
Um, the way that Josh Allen's playing, it needs to be sustainable. If it's not, that's when they'll become pretenders. Right now, he's got almost 1,800 yards, 14
Mm.
touchdowns, and one interception. He's really not even rushing all that much. Only 204 rushing yards this year and 3 touchdowns on the ground. But to me, that shows some maturity from Josh Allen. And if he can, and really, you think about the weapons he's had this year, hasn't been any guys that are like wowing you. I mean, before Amari Cooper got there, it was pretty much Kincaid and whoever else could catch the ball. But I think maybe, just maybe, Josh Allen is finally starting to understand you can't just do it on your own every single game and
Yeah.
expect to win the Super Bowl. You're going to have to play with your team, and your whole everyone around you is going to have to succeed. So I think he's at that point where he's realizing it. Maybe, just maybe, this is the smartest he's ever been, football IQ wise. And I'm going to say that they are contenders. You think about what they did against the Ravens earlier this season too. I mean, we were just talking about them, and they just stomped on the Ravens. I mean, maybe that's not fair to say because I think that was only the third game. I can't really remember, but
I think the Baltimore beat them.
Baltimore
They
beat
beat
them.
the hell out of Jacksonville.
Baltimore stomped on the Bills.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you might be right actually.
I think it was because the Bills had like a 37-10 victory over Jacksonville and then got dubbed like 37-10 by the Ravens.
Mm. Yeah,
Because,
that
yeah,
game.
Henry ran for 200 yards.
Oh,
And two.
that's right. That's right.
Mhm.
I was thinking the Bills stomped on them. That game was late as hell here.
Mhm.
Um, well, then maybe that goes my argument. But,
Sorry for the fact checks.
no, that was good. I'm glad you said that because I would have sounded like an idiot tomorrow. I'd rather sound like an idiot right now. Let's get into some of the season awards. So we'll start with the Offensive Rookie of the Year. FanDuel odds, that's all these players that I'm listing in order. Right now for Rookie of the Year, you have Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, Brian Thomas Jr., Brock Bowers, and Malik Neighbors. Who do you think wins this year?
I mean, there's one clear winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. Jaden Daniels.
It's not even close.
It's not close.
Yeah.
I think he's won every week for Rookie of the Week besides, I think, week 2. So it's been his all the way down. I mean, if you're carrying that as a rookie, you're probably going to win Rookie of the Year.
He's got 1,700 yards passing, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 424 rushing yards, and 4 touchdowns on the ground. That is right up there with some of the best quarterbacks in the league right now.
Yeah. What, 100 yards less than Josh Allen? You literally just said it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not throwing as many TDs, which you don't expect from a rookie QB because they're not trying to force stuff and they're just trying to figure out the system. But, I mean, those are damn good numbers. The rushing upside that he has and getting out of the pocket, it's his to lose, to be honest.
And I think Bo should be in front of Caleb Williams.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, you think about what Bo's working with. He has more pass yards than Caleb Williams, one less TD than Caleb Williams, and the same amount of interceptions as Caleb Williams. So I think Bo Nix should be second place. But
Baby Bo.
yeah, defensive rookie of the year. I wouldn't say this one's close either. But you have Jared Verse, Lautu. I don't know how to say his name.
Yeah. They said it's Liatu Latu.
Latu from the Colts. Quinyon Mitchell, Evan Williams, and Kamari Lassiter.
Both of those are they're Texans corners, right?
Mm-hmm. Lassiter? Let me see.
Yeah, Kamari, he came from Georgia. I'm trying to think of where Evan came from. I don't remember what school he went to, but Kenyon, he's been decent. Honestly, I haven't really heard too much of Liatu Latu. And I had the chance of watching Jared Verse against Minnesota. That guy's a dog.
Yeah.
Like, he's scary good.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, he's got a plethora of moves, but dude's so strong and so fast. He's like, I don't really need this. I can just bull rush you and
he's
get to
already
you.
he's already starting to get, like, I wouldn't call it elite yet, but it's a very good get off.
Oh, yeah. There was one where I thought he was going to get flagged for being offsides, but he timed it perfectly,
Yeah.
and that the left tackle didn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
He like whiffed on him and then
That
got
was-
past the running back.
That was Darashaw too. That was not.
Yeah.
That was no bad tackle. That was a decent tackle, pretty good tackle. I think Darashaw was in the Pro Bowl last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Jared Verse, he looks legit. That D tackle that they drafted too, Fursker, is that his name?
Yeah, it's Fisk
Fisk
from FSU.
Yeah, he
Mhm.
seems to be a good piece too. They seem to work off each other. And then there's Young, who also has some sacks. I don't know what year Young's in, but pretty. They made the Vikings O line look pretty average. I was pretty surprised about that. Was probably the most surprising thing from that game.
Yeah, I mean, if that's one thing, I remember watching it. The guy, the old defensive coordinator, he was like, "Yeah, we used to run like cover zero and just have Aaron Donald be the only one really putting a pressure on,
Yeah,
and he'd still get there. It'd be nuts." He's like, "Yeah, we'll be man up, but there's going to be no time because Aaron Donald's already going to be in the backfield." So he's like, "I have to adjust. Like I have these younger folks, Fisk, Verse, and Young to what you mentioned. So he's had to change up the defense, but I mean, still that young defensive line is looking pretty good.
man, Donald should have played again.
If he was playing with this defensive line,
It would be tough.
it would be insane.
Yeah, that would be a tough D line to go up against. The MVP. Right now, you have Josh Allen in the lead, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff, Jaden Daniels, and C.J. Stroud.
Truthfully, there's two people on this list that I do not agree with.
Goff?
That's Patrick Mahomes. Should not be there. Should not.
I agree.
He's just a name. They're like, oh yeah, big name. It's Patrick Mahomes. Keep him in the running. And then I don't think C.J. Stroud really has brought a valid argument to the table. I could say Josh Allen, like we were just talking about, the 14-1. Lamar, I mean, he's looking pretty damn good. He's got a hot offense. Jared Goff, we've talked about it. That offense for the Lions is crazy good. Even had a game where he went 18 for 18. I mean, that's elite. And then Jaden Daniels, being young, rookie. I mean, he's leading the Commanders to a 6-2 record. Yeah, throw his name in the ring. Really boiling it down, I think it's really Josh, Lamar, Jared that stick out to me the most as like true MVP candidates.
It's got to be Lamar.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I think Lamar takes it by the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean this. You look at Allen and Lamar's stats side by side. Lamar's got 2,099 yards, one of the only quarterbacks to hit 2,000 so far. 17 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 501 rushing yards, 2 rushing TDs. So he has 300 more yards passing than Allen, and all-purpose touchdowns. He has 2 more touchdowns and 300 more rushing yards than Josh Allen. So yeah, I mean, to me, Lamar is the clear-cut MVP right now.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. Especially with the season going on, continuing to go on. I think Lamar is just going to set his case for back-to-back MVP.
Yeah. Defensive Player of the Year. Right now, you have T.J. Watt, Will Anderson Jr. He's in second place. I thought that was kind of surprising. Chris Jones, Dexter Lawrence. I feel like Dexter's got to be higher. And Nick Bosa.
It's an interesting list, I will tell you that for sure. And when we had these notes, I was like, I don't even think really anyone has proven a case besides maybe Dexter Lawrence with being the sack leader currently, and him being on the defense for the Giants, like being like the main piece for him. I think he's providing a better case than Chris Jones, Nick Bosa. But I mean, TJ Watt, definitely one of the most feared. I think that's what Nimmer said for his most feared segment. And it's proven. I mean, he's got a lot of pressures. I don't know if he had any sacks this past game, but I mean,
He did.
he's just one of the most feared defensive players out there. So I definitely would give it to him. I'd give my nod to him, but Dexter should definitely be second in my eyes.
Yeah, I like seeing what Dexter Lawrence is doing this year. I think he should be second. I could see the argument for TJ at one.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope it's not like, oh, we didn't give it to him last year, so we'll give it to him this year because that's kind of stupid. But you look at TJ's stats, the 6.5 sacks, that's tied for seventh. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's where people are like, well, he's not even top five in sacks. He's right there. He's right outside the bubble. He could have one game where he has 5 sacks, and then he's right into the top three.
Oh yeah, I think the sack leader, I mean, is Dexter with 9,
Mm-hmm.
and then Aiden Hutchinson's still on the list at 7.5. Will McDonald should be second. I think he has 7 or 8,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, he's fringe. So, and we know the Steelers defense. He's got Highsmith back, and
Yep.
when he has him, as Nimmer credited in previous episodes, with both of them on the field, TJ is going to get more sacks, or
Mm-hmm.
vice versa. So, I think TJ is going to have a clear cut win as the season progresses.
That is a scary duo with Highsmith and him. It looked like
100%.
Daniel Jones was stressed all night.
I mean, I would be too.
Yeah. The one stat that TJ has, which is very impressive, he has 4 forced fumbles on the year. That's first in the NFL.
Mhm.
I saw a stat in the Raider game back a couple weeks ago. That was, I think, Highsmith's first game back from his injury. They only ran the ball to TJ Watt's side twice. He forced fumbles on both those plays. That's crazy, dude.
That's wild.
That's like the craziest stat I've ever heard.
Bro, to force a fumble for 2 for 2, the
Yeah.
runs that are run at you, that's wicked work.
And he ended the game last night with that forced fumble against Daniel Jones.
Damn.
Yeah,
Mm.
he's he's scary, man. He is a scary dude.
I wouldn't want to line up against him for damn
I
sure.
don't like. I'd be scared to talk to him. Like if I saw him on the streets, like I'd be so scared to say anything to him. I think
I probably,
I would clam up.
I'd walk
Like,
down a dark alley before walking up to him.
he always looks so pissed off too. But I love it. I love it. He's such a good player, man. He's definitely one of my favorite to watch. That's like living here in Pittsburgh. I've never watched so much Steeler football,
Mm-hmm.
but like just to sit back and I always have access to the Steeler games now. Just to sit back and watch TJ work, like it's insane. It is crazy.
Yeah, I have to wait till like see highlights in
Right.
order to know like what his stat lines are. But I mean last night I didn't get to watch the game because of Sam. He was like, no more football, and I was like, okay, it's fine. But I was trying to keep tabs on the ESPN app, but no, it's really so he did end the game with a strip sack.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, bet.
I think he
Nice.
had 2 sacks. And the last one was a forced fumble to end the game. That was the game winner. And
Beautiful.
Russ nearly gave the game away.
Of course he did.
It was it was a very stressful situation for the Steelers because I think it was like 3 minutes left, and all they had to do was just go down the field and kick a field goal, and that would have been it.
Mhm.
And Russ tried to scramble around, and they came from behind and stripped the ball from him.
Oh my
And
god.
I was thinking, man, if this was a good team and that happened, like if that's the Chiefs, game over.
Yeah, Dunzo.
Yeah.
Mm.
So he's gonna have to figure that out. I don't think he's going to, but Coach of the Year. So this isn't on FanDuel. So I kind of made my own list. Uh, Andy Reid, Dan Campbell, Kevin O'Connell, Dan Quinn, Mike Tomlin.
Mm. I mean, I just love Dan Campbell and what he's doing with the Lions. Like, it's just something special over there. But you got to give credit where credit's due, and that's Andy Reid. Dude is a phenomenal coach, and to lead the Chiefs to 7-0 currently, I think he definitely gets the cap for being Coach of the Year for the mid year. But something about Dan Campbell, the energy that he brings, the culture that he has with the Lions, and having Ben Johnson stay and everyone on the like the coordinator staff stay, that's something special. So I love that for him. He'd be my honorable mention, my second place guy, which he is.
I feel like he might be the favorite once this comes out, like the voting. He
He
might be
could
the
be.
favorite to win
I'd vote for him.
just because
Shit.
of his personality.
Mm-hmm.
I love him.
What is it? How many cups of coffee does he have in a day?
He says he makes 2 full things.
Like a big
Pot
gulp type?
two
Oh,
two
two pot?
full pots
God damn.
to
It's like,
start his day. I thought I was doing bad with 1 pot.
bro, that's crazy work, my guy.
What's crazy is I've heard him say that he doesn't work out.
There's no shot. That
How
dude's
the hell does he look
pretty
like that?
yoked.
Yeah, he's stacked. But I've
That
seen
body
like
is just,
I've
huh?
seen like the Hard Knocks where he's doing like the up downs with the team and they rip off 50 and he's done every single one of them. So he might just be like some aerobic kind of guy. He's
Maybe.
huge though. I mean, he is a massive dude. His
It-
shoulder and triceps look just like massive.
Yeah, dude's jacked. And it's probably all the coffee, just burning calories all damn day and
Yeah.
just keeps him in a tip top physique. I have no idea.
I strive to be like Dan Campbell someday.
Yeah.
Comeback player of the year. This is the last one for season awards. Kirk Cousins, Joe Burrow, J.K. Dobbins, Kyler Murray.
Where's Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, where is he?
No, I'm kidding. I gotta give it to J.K. Dobbins. He's been electric for the Chargers. And we were coming into the season thinking this was Gus Edwards' backfield. JK was like, hell no, this is mine. And he took off with it. He's looked great week in and week out. He gives this Chargers offense some beautiful, beautiful highlights, but just gives them the ability to mix up and diversify their team. I mean, their pass catching. I mean, McConkey is now stepping up. We just saw his breakout game. So all these young additions are kind of building up. And what's crazy is JK is like only 25.
Mhm.
And like I had a coworker, he was like, damn, isn't JK like 28, 29 years old? And I was like, no, dude, he's only been in the league for like 3 years, maybe four, when he like came in at 21, still a young buck. So he's got a lot of years left. And
Is he
coming off
really?
of
Is he really 25?
yeah, he's only 25.
He is 25. Holy cow.
Yeah.
That is so young.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I got to give it to him. He's looked good and looks healthy. So we love that for him. And I think he's outplayed Joe Burrow. I hate to say it, probably outplayed Cousins and Murray. So I like Dobbins in this one.
Yeah, I hate this because they're going to give it to a quarterback.
Yeah.
That's just what they do. It's got to be Dobbins, though. Like, Dobbins is the real winner this year. If a quarterback gets it, no one has had more of an effect on their team than Dobbins has in this category, the comeback player of the year.
Yeah. I mean, what does he have yardage wise? He has 535 yards, four TDs. That's on 112 carries. He's only had 2 games, or excuse me, 3 games this season of single digit fantasy points,
Yeah.
but he's had workhorse numbers. I think
10th
he's
in.
never had he's only had 1 game of 10 carries. That's crazy.
Yeah. He's 10th right now in rushing yards.
Yeah, that's comeback written all over it.
He's. I mean, he's still got a long way to go this season, so maybe he can pour in another 1,000 yards right now and end with 1,500 yards. That'd be such a solid season for him. I'm so happy for him too with the injuries that he's had. It's awesome to see. Let's take a break and then we'll come back and we'll talk about our division predictions that we made earlier this year. We had a lot of them wrong, so we'll get into that. We'll get into that in 2 minutes. Sorry about that, guys. We are live. I am in the middle of adding Nimmer to the show. He just got back, so
Oh, nice.
once he is here, you'll probably just see me do it live. He is here. Okay. I was sorry about that, guys. We are live. I was thinking that I could lock the screen and not show the audience this, but I couldn't figure out how to do that, so that's fine. You guys are going to see a little bit of the back end here. Just bear with us. What is that?
Uh-oh.
It's okay. We're okay. We're okay.
We're good.
There he is.
There he is. Yeah.
Here, hold on. Let me. There's an echo right now. Is that me? Let me see. There's a big echo. I don't know how to fix that. Let me see. Sorry to the audience about this. We're just trying to. Oh, you're right. I think I know what I did. Let's see.
Such a tiny box. Bye, Nimmer.
Just give me 1 second.
That was Amux. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, because you're not in the OBS right now. No, you're good. Let's see. Why don't you talk real quick?
Test.
That sounds
Is
better.
there still an echo?
No, that sounds better. I don't know how to get a box for you, so
That's all right. I don't need a box.
I think we're just gonna roll with Nimmer not having a box. Let me just do some final changes here. Why don't you talk about what you were just up to, Nimmer?
Yeah. So scary day today. I was actually in the office today, and Alejandra called me and said that Amox's throat and mouth was swollen. And so we were unfortunately her car broke down, so we're kind of down to one car. And so I took the car obviously to go to the office, and so it was swollen, and so we had to go to the ER, and so long story short, it's some type of infection. They didn't really know exactly what it was. They actually shaved his neck to see if it was a snake bite. It wasn't a snake bite. Ended up being an infection, like I said. Um, but so they gave us antibiotics and some inflammatory medicine. We're gonna have to go do to another doctor for a CT scan.
Mhm.
to just see if it's like an inflamed gland or something like that in his neck.
Mhm.
But they said he's going to be okay. So it looks a lot worse than it is.
Yeah, that was a gnarly photo that you sent. Just
Mhm.
like his neck. I was like, I feel bad for the poor boy.
Yeah, he definitely has like a what is it called, like a rooster's neck, and I think that's why. What was weird is that when Alejandra went to go for a walk, she didn't even notice it. So I don't know if, I mean, obviously you probably weren't looking at it, but she was like petting him and realized that his neck was just like really inflamed, and then that's when she noticed and called me and whatnot. So but the ER took so long. Like after we were done, like I had like 10 minutes before the show starts. I was like, all right, cool. Maybe I'll make like. She's like, oh, it shouldn't take too long. Then I was there for like 30 minutes, just sitting in the waiting room, and I'm like, I like went outside and I was like, am I supposed to pay out there? Like, what's happening? And they're like, oh no, we'll be right there. And I was like, they just forgot about me. So, but nevertheless, he's okay. Um, just kind of scary, especially when you don't know what caused it. So,
Yeah, definitely.
um, but yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Nim. Hopefully, it's like you said, not as serious as it is kind of sounding. But that's always tough when a dog goes through something like that.
hmm And the good thing is that it's not. It doesn't really look like it's affecting him. He's still howling. He's still kind of just doing. He's still eating. He's still doing all that type of stuff. So,
That's good.
it didn't really look like it was affecting him, but obviously it looks a lot worse than it
Mm.
is.
Well, let's get you warmed up since
Okay.
you're back in this show. I want to ask you one question. We started off with our contenders and pretenders, where
hmm
we talked about teams if they're going to be either a Super Bowl contending team, someone that could make an appearance or compete to get into the Super Bowl, or a team that's going to flame out and not do very well in the playoffs. So I want to know, are the Steelers a contender or pretender, Nim?
Man, I don't know. I was watching last night and I was like, you even mentioned it. You're like, if this was a good team, it would not be good. So we can't really be happy about the season so far just because of the people that we've played. We haven't really played anybody. I mean, we lost. I mean, we beat the Giants by less than one score, um, even though we pretty much held the momentum and throughout the whole entire game. Our offense looks pretty good. Offense looks really good. Um, just a couple fine tuning. So I want to say, I don't know. Can we go to the Super Bowl? Maybe. Definitely. I mean, we have to remember that this is Russ's
You said maybe?
second game.
Definitely?
Yeah, I think so. Uh-huh.
Oh, definitely maybe.
Yeah, no, definitely maybe.
I thought you said maybe definitely,
Yeah,
and I was like,
I thought you
oh.
went
Like
from maybe to
it's
definitely.
it's not like 100%, but we also have to remember this is Russ's only second game, right? So he's
Mhm.
still kind of getting all the rust off and stuff like that. But there's a lot of things that we need to get fixed before we go into this gauntlet of a schedule. So, but looking at the AFC, I mean, we have the Ravens, we have the Chiefs. Um, who else would you rank in the AFC above the Steelers?
The Broncos.
Let's be okay. Let's be realistic now, and we beat the Broncos, so
I know. I'm just
maybe
kidding.
maybe
I'm just
maybe the Bills.
right,
Maybe.
the
Bills.
Bills. Okay, yeah, that's true. So Bills, Texans are
I wouldn't say that the
right
Texans are
above
the
them, maybe. Well, I guess with the injuries, yeah. But so the I mean, fourth in the AFC, you
yeah.
can't count us out. Um, but at the same time, we haven't really played anybody, so it's going to be interesting to see after after the bye what happens. Especially the fact that we have Hard Knocks. That's going to be so exciting. I can't wait for that.
Yeah. So now we're into our uh, divisions. So we're
Oh,
revisiting the.
before, I'm sorry, Drew.
Oh, sure.
Um, you said that FanDuel doesn't have the coach of the year, but I think in specific states like Pennsylvania, I don't think you could have it, but like in Arizona, you do. So I'll
Oh,
tell you what the odds are, and I looked at them earlier. Can you guess who the favorite is?
can I guess?
Yeah, guess who the favorite of coach of the year is?
Dan Campbell.
No.
Ooh.
Dan
Uh,
Dan Campbell is 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth.
what the heck?
Fifth?
Yeah, and Andy Reid is 6th.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Who else would it be?
So it goes Dan Quinn plus 200,
Wow.
Sean Payton plus 650, Mike Tomlin plus 750, Kevin O'Connell plus 850, and then Dan Campbell plus 900, and Andy Reid plus 900.
So they have Dan Campbell at number 1.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
right?
Hmm.
I thought that was very interesting.
That is crazy. I would think that he would be. I can kind of see why, because with that roster that they have and what they looked like last year.
Yeah, well, he should have won last year. And then even the comeback player of the year, I mean, how is DeMar Hamlin and Nick Chubb not on there as well? I think I think DeMar Hamlin should win it just right next to JK. I think it should go JK then DeMar
What do you think?
when it comes to
I think that's a load of shit, but
what? He freaking died last year on the field. Talk about a comeback player of the year. Do you come back from the dead to come play in the NFL?
what are his stats? Okay, he
I mean,
died and came back. Yeah, okay. I'm I'm gonna sound like an ass, but
I definitely go.
but shit. I think he has only one interception. Like, okay. All right.
I mean, but think about Kirk Cousins. He hasn't really been playing that well. Joe Burrow, yeah, he's been playing really well, but his defense isn't complimenting him. Kyler Murray, definitely not. Don't you think DeMar Hamlin should be number 2?
No, I don't
No.
either.
I don't.
I guess I'm standing alone on this. I'm glad I came back on the show for this. No.
Man, I just,
You know what I was gonna say though? I forgot to mention it. Someone who I think should be in consideration for defensive player of the year, right behind TJ. I think it should be Brian Branch from the Lions.
yeah.
Or Sexy Dexy.
Yeah, we gave him some love.
No.
But Brian Branch has 4 interceptions. That's tied for 3rd. And he has 11.
Xavier McKinney's got 6,
Yeah.
which is crazy.
If TJ Watt doesn't win this year, though, I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. He's even plus 100 to win Defensive Player of the Year. Will Anderson is 2nd.
Yeah, he's tied for 2nd in sacks, I think.
Mhm.
Or 3rd. He's tied for 3rd.
Interesting. Okay, sorry.
No, you're good. So, let's get into the division predictions. So, we got a lot of these wrong. And it's awesome looking back at them. Let's start with the AFC North. I wish we had some graphics for this. But
I know, sorry.
No, you're fine. Can you guys see this on my screen here?
Yeah.
We can, yeah.
So, just let's start with the AFC North. Nimmer, let's go through your picks, and let's just hear your picks.
I really just should have stuck with my instinct, honestly, because in the very beginning, I was like, the Steelers are going to get number 1. And then I was like, all right, just joking. Let me be realistic. Should have just went with my instinct. But my prediction was the Bengals to be number 1, the Ravens number 2, Steelers 3, Browns 4. So those were my predictions. I thought Joe Burrow was going to do really well. Wasn't anticipating the defense being as bad as they are now. I think that's really hurting them, really hurting their chances. I still think they could make the playoffs, maybe, but it's not looking good. Um, so, but yeah, so that's my predictions. It was Bengals, Ravens, Steelers, Browns.
Darren, who did you have?
Yeah, I have Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, Browns in that order. What is it? Steelers, Ravens, Bengals, Browns currently.
Yep.
Yeah.
So not too far off. We're still only halfway through the season. Who knows what could happen? But right now, yeah, I whiffed.
Yeah. I mean, I probably did the worst. I had the Bengals. I even said when I made that pick, I was like, I don't know why I'm picking the Bengals, but I'm going to go with the Bengals. They have been probably the most disappointing team this year. Then I had the Ravens, the Steelers, and the Browns. So at least we all got the last place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Um, I was looking back at my notes. I had the Bengals winning 12 games.
What did I put? I think I put like 11. I think I
uh,
mm, horrible
that's
take.
tough. And I have the Browns winning 7. Oof.
It was definitely fun going back and watching some of the old clips.
Oh, sure.
Just bad takes.
NFC North. Darian, I'll start with you for the NFC North. Who did you have for your picks?
Yeah, so I had the Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings. What is the correct order currently?
The correct order is Lions, Packers, Vikings, Bears.
Yeah, the Vikings start of the season is what was crazy and just flipped it upside down. But definitely have the Lions winning. I have them at 12 wins, which I think is doable.
Nimmer, who did you have for your picks?
I had the Lions, Bears, Packers, and Vikings. Yeah, so that's who I had. I had the Packers at 9 wins. I said Vikings maybe 4 wins. I was not anticipating the Vikings doing as well as they did. Ugh.
I mean,
And I had the Bears at 10.
This has got to be the hardest division in football right now.
Yeah.
100%.
Which we kind of predicted, right? I mean, we kind of mentioned that this was going to be a 3-headed monster, but we didn't anticipate the Vikings. But yeah.
Yeah. I had the Lions, Packers, Bears, Vikings. I also said the Vikings are going to be terrible. So I think we all did. I think we all really dogged on the Vikings.
We beat the hell out of them.
I apologize, Minnesota.
Yeah, definitely.
NFC South. Nimmer, who did you have winning here?
I had the Falcons. I had the Falcons winning. And I remember we having not heated, but we had a debate about the Falcons or the Bucks, the Falcons or the Bucks. I chose the Falcons. I went Falcons, Bucks, Saints, Panthers, which that's the order, right?
That is the order.
Yeah. I had the Falcons at 10 wins, which I don't know what their record is exactly, but
5-3 currently.
okay, so it's still possible.
Yeah.
No, I like that. I mean, I think I was just one flip flop from you. I have the Buccaneers, Falcons, Saints, Panthers. We all know Panthers are just cheeks. So
I had that same order.
if it wasn't for Godwin and Evans being hurt currently, I think it could have been Bucks, Falcons, Saints, Panthers. But yeah, having both of their wide receivers go down, yeah, probably find yourself a second.
It would be a lot. It would be a lot tighter race than it is now.
Mm-hmm. It's still only one game, but I think the Falcons are going to just cruise.
Yeah. The AFC South. This one was really interesting. Looking back at this one, Daniel, who did you have?
Well, I had the Texans
Yep.
leading, which great that I picked that. Then I had my Jags. Golly, man. Had my Jags and then the Colts and then Titans. God, man, I
I
was
can't
wrong
believe you
about
had the
that.
Jaguars.
I know.
I said that it would be close between the Texans and the Jags. I'm pretty sure. I was like, yeah, the Jags are going to look good this year. Oh, was I wrong?
That is funny.
Who'd you have, Nev?
So I was on fire that day because I had the Texans, Colts, Jags, and Titans. I had the Texans with 9 wins, which now they currently have 6. Colts with 7 wins, currently have 4. Jags with 5 wins, currently have 2. And then Titans, I said maybe 4 wins, which they have 1, which that probably is not going to hit. But
Man, if you called all of that, shoot, man. You should put in a ticket. I don't know if you can do that now, but
nah, it's too late.
damn. That would have
Yeah,
been
that
a
would
crazy
be cool.
ticket.
So I didn't answer this one because I was at a Pirates game that day when you guys did this one. I think the current order is what I would have gone with. We'll never know though.
You could let's just say you were, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, you were right.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I would have said Texans, Colts, Jags, Titans. I was down on the Titans before the season. I said they're not going to be very good.
Yeah. There's no water in there. Nice.
AFC East.
Can we skip this one?
Yeah, we got to skip this one for sure.
Well, I'll start. My dumbass thought the Jets were going to win this division. I can't believe I really thought the Jets were going to win this division. They're 2-6. For people watching, wondering how this division's going, the Bills are in first. Miami's in second at 2-5. New England's in third at 2-6, and the Jets are 2-6 because they just lost to the Patriots this past weekend. I had the Jets, Bills, Dolphins, Patriots. Never. Who did you have?
So I had Jets winning the division, Dolphins getting second, Bills getting second to last, and Patriots getting last. I had the Jets at 12 wins. I have them at 12 wins. And then I said the Dolphins were going to get 9, which they only literally have 2 wins. Oh my God. And then the Bills I said that it would have 7 wins, which one more game and they're going to hit that. But then I had the Patriots at 2. So, and I said the only ones that they're going to win are the Chargers and the Bills. This was really bad.
Dude, who'd you have? It was a very mixed, like we all kind of had a different picture in our head of how this division was going to go.
Yeah, I went with the Dolphins taking the division, followed by the Jets, and then the Bills and Pats. So, damn, am I wrong?
The Jags in second and the Bills in third.
I really thought they were going to have a down year. They didn't make a lot of good moves, I thought. But here I am, surprised. Saying Josh Allen's an MVP favorite.
Yep.
Yeah, I was so wrong about that.
Yeah.
The Bills, unbelievable. I was so low on the Bills this year.
I think I don't know how many years in a row it's been. I think this is 11 or 12 years in a row they win the division.
Wow.
That's crazy.
I could be wrong. That might be wrong. That's probably wrong, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say there's no way.
6.
With Brady and stuff? I mean, when did Brady leave the Patriots?
Yeah. It's been a while. It's been a while. Please no.
Damn, we're getting old.
Please no strike on us YouTube for that.
Yeah, seriously.
Let's do the NFC East. This was a. This has been a really interesting season for this division. Nimmer, who did you have?
So I had, this actually might hit still. The Eagles number 1 winning the division with 13 wins. They would have to literally win. Oh, I don't know. They have 5 wins right now, so
5-2.
it's going to be a lot. But then I had the Commanders second, so they can easily flip flop. And then Dallas third, Giants fourth. I had the Commanders at 8 wins, which they have 6. Cowboys at 7 wins, which they have 3, and then Giants with 3 wins, which they only have 2. But yeah, so I wasn't too far off.
Darren, what'd you have?
So, I will say this is my original, but I did have a hot take, which would have shook this up. But I'll go into it. Original was Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, Giants. And then I forget what episode it was exactly. But I said my hot take is I'm changing this. And I say that the Commanders take the division. So my new one based on this would be Commanders, Eagles, Cowboys, Giants.
And just for reference, the Buffalo Bills have won 4 years in a row. If they win this year, that'll be 5 years in a row.
Wow.
11.
11.
It's 11 years.
Just round up.
Yeah.
For the NFC East, I don't know how I.
You're not gonna go over what you did?
I'm
Did you go over what you did?
I'm doing that right now. NFC
Oh,
East.
my bad.
No, you're good. I don't know how I had Dallas in second because I was so down on them, and I still went with them at second. But I had Eagles, Dallas, Commanders, Giants. That I don't know why I came to that conclusion because I was so down on the Cowboys, and they're looking like how I was kind of saying they're going to look this year.
Mm-hmm.
For reference, right now Washington is in first place at 6-2. Philly's in second place at 5-2. You guys haven't played yet, huh? You still have 2 games left?
Yeah, we haven't played the Eagles yet.
That's going to be interesting. Dallas 3-4 and Giants at 2-6.
Yeah, we haven't played Eagles or Dallas yet. We play the Giants again this week.
You guys should smoke Dallas.
I hope. I hope. CD better put a number on us, though, but I think we'll win.
AFC West. Man, this is a bad one, too.
Jeez.
Darian, who did you have winning here?
I mean, I think I contradicted myself when I made this because I said Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos. Maybe I was bought into what you guys were saying. Raiders are the dark horse.
I think so.
And put them in at third. But I think the next episode, I was like, look out. The Broncos are going to be the most exciting team in the AFC West. And, which has been kind of true. So I should have put them higher on this list. But, yeah, I got Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, Broncos. Yeah, Raiders are just piss poor. They deserve that last spot.
What'd you have, Nimmer?
Man, oh man, was I wrong about this division? I obviously had the Chiefs winning with 13 wins, which probably might, but then I had the Raiders with 9 wins, Chargers with 6, and then I said the Broncos are only going to get 2 to 3 wins this year.
Yeah, I rewatched that today.
So I would like to apologize to all the Bronco fans out there. I was wrong. I would admit it. I was wrong. But yeah.
Yeah, I had that same order. Um, right now, the order is Kansas City at first with 7-0, best team in the league. Denver 5-3 in second place, which is crazy. Chargers third place at 4-3, and Vegas at 2-6 last place. I did say for both the Commanders and the Broncos, I said lock in the over for those teams. They're going to win more than their line. I can't remember what Washington's line was. It wasn't very high. I think it was like 6.5.
I think it was 6.5, 6.5, 7, something like that.
And I said the Washington Commanders are going to win more games than that. I guarantee it. And the Broncos, I said if we won 9 games with Russ, we're going to win a good amount of games with Bo. We're definitely going to win more than 5 games, and we're at 5 games right now. So
Yeah.
I called some overs, but man, was my order wrong in a lot of spots. Oh, man. So that was our division predictions. Now we have...
Did we do?
We got NFC West.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Sorry about that. NFC West. Last division on the board. Nimmer, who'd you have winning here?
So I had the Niners winning. Can't really. I did on it. We didn't even know about Christian McCaffrey, but I don't think that would have really swayed my judgment. Then I had the Rams. So I had the Niners at 12 wins, which, whew. Then I had the Rams, at the Cardinals, and then the Seahawks. Yeah, I had the Rams at 8 wins, Cardinals at 7, and Seattle at 6.
Who'd you have, Darian?
This is just like a division of 500.
Yeah.
Mediocrity here. So it's still anybody's race, to be honest. But I picked 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals, which I feel is like how it's going to shake out in the end. But right now we got Arizona at first, San Francisco, Seattle, Rams.
That is insane that Arizona's in first right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy that the Seahawks went undefeated. What 3-0? 4? Were they 3-0?
Yeah.
They were 3-0.
And then they just completely fell off.
Yeah. I had the Niners, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals. So I was very wrong. Very, very wrong. Every single pick was wrong.
You never know. I mean, it's still really anybody's race. So
if you guys had to repick who's going to win the division today, because they're still, I mean, they're all pretty much locked even. Who do you think wins, Nim?
I think the Rams. I think the Rams can. The Rams are the most healthiest. Yeah, I don't know. I think I would still keep my order, honestly. Because the 49ers there's just too much firepower. Even though they're pretty banged up, I think it's still in the beginning of the season. I mean, it's still halfway. That second half is pretty favorable for the 49ers. So I'll probably keep my lineup.
What do you think, Darren?
Yeah, I agree. I think it could be a toss-up between first and second with just how San Fran has played. But I think it'll shake out how I put it, 49ers, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals, in that order.
Yeah, I think it's interesting how this division's going to end. If everything goes according to plan, Christian McCaffrey should be coming back after their bye week. I think that's week 11 or week 10.
Mm-hmm.
So here in a couple weeks. And if everything is good with him, you might have a fully healthy Christian McCaffrey coming into the playoffs with the 49ers. with fresh legs.
Would be scary.
That's going to be a very interesting thing to watch. And I honestly think the Rams are going to sneak in for that last spot in the playoffs
I can
I
see
like
that.
it. I can see it.
because they're also healthy now with Puka and Cup back at the same time. And like me and Darian were talking about it earlier, that that defense is a little underrated. They look pretty good.
I like him a lot.
But that was our division predictions. Thank God we're a fantasy show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had some
There's
predictions of fantasy that
there's
were
some
not
bad
the best.
fantasy takes too. We're about to get into that as well. I'm sure people in our league, they are watching this, and this is going to be their favorite part. This is our new segment, Words for Dinner. And we had a graphic plan for this. I'm running the show, so you'll just get to see us eat the words instead of the graphic.
What is the Jameson?
Yeah,
The dub.
there's the words. So we're going to give you two of our worst takes first. So, Darian, I want to start with you.
Yeah. This one has, come full circle on me. Man. So my first worst take, and I'm choking on this. This is the worst take I've had since starting this show. It was one of our first segments of Overcooked and Overlooked. And I said, my guy Drake London is overcooked. He's done. He's rotten. He's horrible. He's no good. Don't draft him. Don't do anything with him. And this motherfucker put wide receiver 5 right now. He's wide receiver 5. Who would have thought? Are you kidding me? And then I had the audacity to go against my word as an honest man that has integrity. I went and tried to trade for him. That's how.
And you
That's
flame
how.
Devin for picking up. Like, Drew, that's another awful trade back to back, Devin.
You're just like, oh, that was a shit pick. And
Uh,
wide receiver 5 on the year right now.
Yep.
Looks great with Kirk Cousins. Yeah, so that was definitely my biggest and worst take for this season. And then the second one, I think, is kind of a cumulative as us as a group. We said that the Vikings were going to be the second worst team in the NFL, 6-2. We're completely off the mark there. Worst take. Who would have thought that these guys would come out blazing like they have been? I mean, they're kind of on a 2-game slump. Maybe this is where their season shifts. But to say that they're the second worst team, they're clearing that by a mile. We're looking at the Browns, the Jags, the Titans being the worst team. Yeah, those are two of my worst takes on this show.
Nim, why don't you give us your
yeah.
worst
Oh,
takes?
I had so many. I don't know who my overcooked was, but there was a lot of people that I was not high on, and I was like, try to stay away from them. I would not draft them. That was Josh Allen, the MVP runner-up, or the MVP winner probably. Joe Mixon, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, so I don't know where they are. But Joe Mixon's popping off. I also had Aaron Jones. I was like, don't pick him either. So I was wrong about all three of those. So if you drafted them and didn't listen to me, good job. And then I also said my sleeper was going to be Gus Edwards. I thought he was going to be the leader of the backfield in I was going to say San Diego. In LA. Was definitely 100% wrong about that. Not even he's what RB3 now? Is he hurt or something? I don't know. It's irrelevant at right now. Yeah, those are my two.
So my worst takes, I had the Ravens are going to be the most disappointing team in the NFL this year. That was something that I strongly believed in. I am definitely eating that. I was very wrong about that. I think I was in the right division. It was the Bengals and not the Ravens. But yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry is the number one running back right now. Lamar Jackson's the leader in MVP in my eyes. So that was extremely wrong. The second bad take that I have was the Cooper Kupp belief that I had, where I said he was going to be worth a third or fourth round pick. And I was so strongly convicted with that. I said that that was going to be the seal of the draft. Like, get ready, everyone. Like, take Cooper Kupp, and you're going to be winning your league. And it looked good. Man, it looked good that first week.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I was like, man, I'm a fucking fantasy genius. Can you believe it? I was telling everybody about it. And then the second game, he hurts his ankle and he misses the next 5 or 6 games or whatever it was. He went from the wide receiver 2 to now I think he's like wide receiver 40 something.
Yeah.
So
Sad.
not good. Something's going on with the background on YouTube. I'm trying to figure that out. You can see like
It's like sliding.
yeah. I don't know how to fix that.
I have no idea.
Like that? Maybe that works.
You can lock it too if you go all down to the source or the brick background, and then just press that lock next to it. Yeah, that should just lock it.
I hope that fixed it. We'll see. Let's get into the 2 best takes. So Nimmer, I'll start with you on this one.
So my 2 best takes are the 2 teams that I told you guys to stay away from. I told you guys to stay away from the wide receivers from the Green Bay Packers. Then I also told you to stay away from the wide receivers for the Texans, the Houston Texans. Both of those, there's not a wide receiver there. And my second one is I told you Chase Brown and Dowdle will essentially be the RB1s for the teams, and it looks like they are. So those are my 2.
Yeah, the Chase Brown Dowdle one was actually a really clutch take.
That was a great take.
He just hasn't produced yet, so like it's not like the best take in the world, but I don't know. But yeah,
He'll get there.
yeah, I hope so.
Darren, what do you got for your best takes?
Yeah, my the newest one was during our last TikTok live on Sunday. I forget what fan commented. They were like, "What about Ladd McConkey?" And I said, "Put him in the starting lineup. It's his breakout game against New Orleans." I said he'd only get like 20 points, but he ended up shattering that, almost getting 30. So predicting that live on a Sunday was pretty dope.
That was cool.
And then I said it a little bit earlier, but the Broncos being an exciting team to watch. And that also being said, that I was high on Bo Nix. I was high on him when he was in college at Auburn and Oregon. I thought he could translate well into the NFL, and he's having a sneaky rookie campaign. I think, as Drew and I were speaking earlier, that he's probably number 2 for Rookie of the Year candidate. So, or Offensive Rookie of the Year candidate. So, really love Bo Nix and love that I had that high hot take that they'd be an exciting team.
Yeah, you would think that would be my take, and I didn't even believe it when you said it.
Gotta have faith.
Yep. Like watching your favorite team score a Hail Mary. But
Oh, but you didn't watch that. Yeah.
Still don't know what that feels like.
my best takes. So this one, I remember when we did this Overcooked and Overlooked, and I said this and never said, wow, that's a hot take. And it was my Overcooked player, the QB5 before the draft this year, Anthony Richardson. This take that I had, I feel like should be viral on TikTok because I said before the season, do not draft Anthony Richardson. It is too big of a risk. And guess where we're at today when we're doing the midseason review? Anthony Richardson was benched today for the remainder of the season for Joe Flacco.
Oh, I didn't know it's for the remainder of the season. Whoa, that's crazy.
He's a second string now.
Wow.
So all you guys that drafted him in the second, third round, look at you. You're a clown. Just like me. My second best take, this was just a couple weeks ago when I was telling everybody, hey, go trade for Amari Cooper right now. And that following Monday, I think I said it on a Wednesday, and that following Monday he was traded to Buffalo. And one of the teams I mentioned, I said he's going to end up either in Kansas City, Buffalo, or Dallas. He ended up in Buffalo. And he came out and gave you 16 points, I think, the first game with Buffalo. So
yep,
that was the time to trade for him. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Eating my words.
Drake London, man.
I think my overcooked was Joe Mixon. So definitely wrong about that. We'll go by that. I'll be eating that.
Some of the players looking back that we said were going to be bad picks. Aaron Jones, that was one. He's turned out to be a pretty good pick. I know Quaz is probably watching right now and laughing, but
yeah.
I traded for him too.
Yeah, traded for him. So Aaron Jones was one of them that we said was going to be bad. We said Diggs was going to be bad. We said
that wasn't that bad.
Yeah. We said Drake London was going to be really bad. That was
bad.
That was a bad take collectively. Were there any others that you guys could think of?
Shall I look for my notes?
To be bad? I mean, we called Pittman. I think every content creator called Pittman being just absolutely horrible.
He's not bad though. What tight end is he? Oh, Pittman.
Exactly,
I was thinking
exactly. He's a wide receiver.
That's
how bad he's doing.
It's because I literally saw Pitts on my thing, and then he said,
"No, Pitts is good. Pitts is good.
Pitts is good. Pittman. Mm-hmm. Yeah, crazy.
A player that I said was going to be good was Zamir White. That was a bad take. I'm trying to think of some other ones that I really hyped up.
I was not high on Stevenson, and both you guys were, and he has not. I mean, I guess last week he did really well, but
he's had an okay season.
Yeah, he's all right.
Like below average, maybe.
I think I was high on Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, me too. That was another thing. I mean, me and Andrew, as you mentioned earlier, we're like, all right, make sure that the Raiders are going to do so good, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Man, that was a bad take. They look so bad, the Raiders. They look so terrible. Like it should be. Shout out you Raiders fans.
Yeah.
Let's review some of our team's rosters. The ones that I kind of want to highlight are Kaysen, Devin, and Hook. I'm not completely sure if some of the other guys in our league really want us to revisit their team. They were not happy with us, to say the least, after we did the grades the first time around. So I wanted to get into the rosters for – let's go over Hooks first. We gave him what his team name is now on the league. A C plus B minus rating. For reference, I'll just give you his starters. He has Jaden Daniels. That is the QB3 on the year. He has Achan, who has kind of been up and down, but had some pretty good games. He now has Jonathan Taylor, which I feel very good that I gave him Jonathan Taylor. He has Devontae Adams, Malik Neighbors. That was another player that we dogged. That was another player we said was going to be pretty bad. He's
Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the wide receiver 12. Travis Kelce, tight end 7. T. Higgins, Stevenson, and Cade McLaughlin and the Broncos defense. His roster's kind of shifted, but those are pretty much his starters right now. He also has Deontay Johnson on the bench that just got traded to the Ravens today. Pretty good team.
Yeah. I don't know why we always doubt Hook.
Yeah.
And he's number one. Oh no.
Now.
And what is he ranked on the team? I mean, in the league?
He's 2.
He's ranked 2.
Second.
Me and him are tied for first. I don't know why we always doubt Hook. Hook is always, for some reason, number 1 in our league. Always competing for number 1.
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. Made some pretty good trades. I mean, I traded him, Stevenson, and Devontae for A.J. Brown. So that was one of his original starters, was A.J. Brown. And then he also had Bijan with Achan.
Yeah.
So he's increased his rating to a B. B minus, B plus, maybe. That range.
Time to change
the name.
Let's go over.
Let's go to Kaysen. Let's go to Kaysen. I want to get this out of the way.
Yeah, let's go to Kaysen. Kaysen, we were pretty mean to Kaysen.
Hey. I said A minus, B plus. And you guys give me that like, what? And I was like, yeah, he has a solid starting lineup, solid bench, RB1, RB2. And then I said,
kind of tore him up.
I dogged him. I said bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Bottom of the barrel. Because I wasn't high on Derrick Henry. I was like, he's old, new system. They're not going to use him. Zay Flowers, mid. I mean, he kind of proven to be. I was high on Garrett Wilson, and I wasn't high on Swift at all. I was like, oh, that's a chunker of a pick.
Swift was another one.
Which was another move, right?
Mm-hmm.
You traded him, but I forget who he originally had. But let's go to like week 1. Let's look at it there. Yeah, so he had Barkley, Hurts. I said to stack them was horrible. They popped off for 52 points that week or something like that, which was nuts. Yeah, Godwin was a filthy pick. Zay Flowers. Yeah, Jordan Mason that same week. Golly. Yeah, I said bottom of the barrel, and I'm eating my words. He's currently 5-3 in the league. I think he's ranked 3rd. So, yeah, you're the top of the barrel, bud. I apologize.
And I
on my notes, I have you should take Vidal instead of Mason. So that was a very bad take. I'm glad he didn't listen to me.
And I said that his bench looks like he auto-picked. I remember saying that. So we're all sorry, Kaysen. You did a great job drafting, and you just beat me by 2 points this past week. So
yeah,
you're definitely better than me. And the last team, Devin.
Oof, Devin.
I don't remember what grade we gave Devin.
I gave Devin.
I want to say I gave him a B minus, but I can't remember.
I think I gave him like a B.
Yeah, no. I said C. He had all the players that I was low on. And now he has like three of the best running backs. His team is so filthy.
Yeah. I
He's only made one trade too, so that acquiring Tyreek for selling Olave and what was it, Chuba Hubbard.
mhm.
Yeah, I mean he's got Brees, Mixon, Kenneth Walker. I mean that's a three-headed monster there at running back. Mike Evans, Olave, Rasheed Rice when he still was playing, Drake London.
His bench is slightly worse than Hook's,
Mm,
but he's got the most complete team in the league. I think Devin.
100%.
Yeah.
I think Devin wins.
I hate to say it, but he might win. I've downloaded Duolingo so I can learn Chinese Taipei. So whenever we're out there drafting, I can I can say the draft in
It's like what? What?
wherever he's going to be
Right
stationed.
over
That's
my
where we're
head.
going.
That's so funny.
You get to say, "Great pick, Devin." In Chinese.
Yeah.
When he drafts Drake London in the first round.
Exactly. For Brees Hall again.
Oh my god. Do you guys remember what we ranked each other's?
Oh yeah, yeah. I look like a cocky piece of shit.
I don't know. I feel like
I gave
Would you
myself
give
a B
yourself?
minus.
I think I gave myself a B.
I gave myself a B. What I said Walker instead of White. That was my biggest regret. That's still to this date.
My biggest regret in the draft was taking ETN right before you took Kyron Williams.
Oh yeah.
What a fucking joke.
Oh man.
That ETN pick. That's gonna be one that haunts you, I think, for a while.
I might just get a T-shirt of like my worst picks. It's I'm gonna have it for every year. It's gonna be like ETN's gonna be the first face, and then add to it every year.
That's good. I love that.
Who was it last year? There was somebody else last year that like haunted you.
Well, at first was DJ Moore,
Mm.
and then he popped off with Fields. But I'm trying to think who else was it.
I thought there was somebody else that you're just like, this is some. I don't remember.
I forget. I'd have to look at the old teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, my biggest regret was drafting Jonathan Taylor the pick before Saquon.
Oh yeah.
That was Kaysen's pick right after mine.
Pain.
The fact that I could have had Saquon. What an awful pick.
Mm.
Yep. So, sorry guys.
To some of the guys. Some of the guys were accurate.
Yeah,
Just
Quaz,
like-
your team still sucks, and I want Gibbs.
And Austin's got one win on the year. I thought he had two.
He almost had two.
Yeah.
He almost beat Carlos.
Almost.
He's definitely going to sneak one or two out before the end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we're idiots.
Yep.
Thank you for listening. Let's do the mid-season fantasy MVP. So this is the actual fantasy MVP of the season. Some of the guys that are there, you have Lamar Jackson. He's the quarterback one. Derrick Henry. He's the running back one. Jamar Chase, the wide receiver one. Brock Bowers, tight end one. There could be others if you guys want to talk about another one. But Nimmer, who's your fantasy MVP this season?
It probably would be Saquon. I really like Saquon. I feel like he hasn't really had. He's had maybe one bad week this whole year. So that's kind of who I would choose, maybe instead of Derrick Henry. Yeah, never mind. I just looked at Derrick Henry stats. Well, so Derrick Henry, no, it's I was looking at his fantasy points, but like his first game he had 46 yards and a touchdown. So because he's got so many touchdowns, that's why. So I haven't looked at Saquon's, but I like Saquon. I like Saquon being the fantasy MVP.
Henry didn't go till the third round in our draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To Kaysen.
I'm a fucking idiot. ETN, baby.
So you're telling me I have freaking white. I can't believe.
Piss poor draft by me. I mean, CD hasn't really done anything until this past week.
We just got too like. We get into the analytics too much.
Yeah.
We do.
100%. We overthink it so much. And that's why Ricky does so well in our league because he doesn't overthink anything. And he's just, like, he's the one that got JK. He's just like, you guys are going to let me leave JK and then Josh Allen? What the heck? Sure enough.
Who's your fantasy MVP, Darren?
I got to go with Henry. I mean, averaging 21.9 fantasy points per game, hasn't had a single digit fantasy production week at all this year. I mean, and he's RB1 and he's clearing when it comes to his rushing stats. I think he's almost 200 yards up on the next guy when it comes to rushing yards. But I will say the one person that I think would have had an arguable case would have been Nico Collins if he didn't get hurt and got placed on IR. Let's put it into perspective. Nico, in the first 5 games, put up 567 yards. That averages out to 113 yards per game. Dude was killing it. Now, the receiving leaders are Jamar Chase at 674 yards, Jefferson at 646, and CD Lamb at 613. Nico's still 9th, so he's still top 10 in receiving yards, even being hurt for the past 3 weeks. Now, if this guy was in and still playing, didn't get hurt, I think he'd probably already be at 1,000 yards receiving.
Yeah,
That's a crazy take, but I think he'd probably actually be at like 800, 900 yards, just with how.
he was having a hell of a season.
So if he didn't leave and didn't get hurt, he's my fantasy MVP.
That was another guy I said was a bad pick, Nico.
Same. But he's hurt, so it wasn't that bad of a, bad of a take.
Yeah, Carlos.
If you want to trade Carlos, I'm all yours.
Yeah, so I think the fantasy MVP has got to be one of those guys that you mentioned, either Saquon or Derrick Henry. Those are both really good options. The real league winner, though, here, I think is Brock Bowers. And I think if you hit on all your picks and you got Brock Bowers later in the draft, he was probably going in like the 12th, 13th round in your league. If you hit on all your picks and you got Brock Bowers at tight end, you're probably winning your league this year. Congratulations, because he is leading the league in receptions right now with 52 receptions. And that's receptions more than Jamar Chase, more than Justin Jefferson, more than A.J. Brown, the top receivers like CD. He has more receptions than all those guys.
Yeah, he's going to be a number one. He's going to be a first rounder next year for sure in fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
Damn. Won't be me. Devin. Devin.
I agree. I think that would be the fantasy MVP. I agree.
Let's get into so that was pretty much all of our midseason review, all of that information. We still have quite a bit of this show, so you guys still good to go? Because
I thought we only have 2 more segments.
We have 3.
Oh shit! Oh, I forgot it was waiver wire. Damn.
There's not a ton of guys. We could probably do that quickly. Why don't you guys throw out some waiver wire ads for this week? Darian, why don't you go ahead?
Bet. Nobody. No, I'm kidding. No, I mean, if Josh Downs is still out there, definitely pick him up. Jalen Coker, wide receiver for the Panthers. I like him since Deontay Johnson has just left. He's going to step up, take a bigger role. Still like Troy Franklin out there for the Denver Broncos. When it comes to running backs, I don't really see anybody that I would want. Maybe stash Garendo if Mason's hurt. I'm trying to think, and even stash Trey Benson. I think the Cardinals are, utilizing James Conner to the fullest potential, and he also hasn't played a full season at all in his entire NFL career. So be mindful of that. If they wear him down to the bone, pick up Benson just in case, maybe.
I put that out there.
I mean, it just happens. QB wise, Justin Herbert's out there. I definitely would go for Matt Stafford, especially with Puka and Cup being back. Hell of a stash going forward. He's going to light up your league. I think Drew had him last year towards the end of the year, and that won you games, if I'm not mistaken.
I had Stroud.
Oh, you had Stroud. Who had Matt Stafford?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't either.
But I think it might have been Quaz, but it ended up winning him a couple of games because of those matchups. But outside of that, it's pretty dry. Whatever you got, just stash away for these playoff runs.
Who you got in for waiver wire?
So I feel like Darian hit a lot of them. I really like who's the Niner running back to stash. I don't know how to pronounce it. Garendo. Definitely, I would do him if you do have that extra spot because I mean they say McCaffrey should be back before or after the bye, but I mean they also said he should be ready at the beginning of the season. So if you do have an empty spot or somebody that, like if you have Christian Kirk or somebody like that that is out for the season, you just want to drop, I feel like that's a good stash. Downs is another person that I'm kind of looking for. I really like maybe Gabe Davis would be one if you're looking for a receiver. Even Adam Thielen might be a good ad coming off the IR. It's just hard, it depends on how hungry you are for receiver. And then like Darian said, Herbert I like, Stafford I like. Maybe Tua. I think once he gets the rust off, and then those are pretty much the ones that maybe Conklin for tight end. But he's Conklin for tight end. Smith is also Jonnu Smith is a good one. But yeah, so those are the ones that I'm keeping an eye out on, or if I have an empty slot on my bench that I'm kind of switch swapping.
Yeah, you guys pretty much named all the ones that I've been looking at. Maybe one interesting pick at tight end if he's there, Taysom Hill. He's going to be healthy here soon, so he might be someone worth picking up. An absolute shot in the dark. I keep an eye on Miles Sanders from the Panthers. I've heard some whispers that he's going to get traded here soon. A lot of people think it's going to be the Cowboys that come into the picture or the Eagles again. And they'll trade for Miles Sanders. If he ends up in a better situation, maybe he's worth putting on as your last pick on your bench.
That's interesting.
I don't know if I like those teams getting a running back, though.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of a team that needs a running back.
I mean,
I don't know.
Is he a good running back, though? I mean, if you're looking for depth.
But the Cowboys have three. I mean, they have Zeke and Dowdle, and then they have Cook too. So you're like, how much
might-
more depth do you need? But
I might take Sanders over those guys.
Yeah. And aging Zeke, who hasn't been productive, and same thing with Cook. I mean, he just got pulled up, but I would definitely take the younger guy, Sanders, but not by much.
There a lot of people are speculating Eagles because Barkley and Sanders, because they played at Penn State together, and Sanders played at Philly. But
that'd be interesting.
Speak Will Shipley though.
Yeah.
Did you guys go over the Dan Campbell trade thing? Did you guys see that video?
Yeah, I saw it. We didn't talk about it, no.
Oh. Who do you think the Lions are going to get, since we're talking about trades?
Max Crosby.
That's the one that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's somebody else that they're talking about on the Pat McAfee show, Jones or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I hope so.
Yeah, that would make the most sense. But who knows? We'll see. Could be Cooper Kupp.
Absolutely.
Jameson Williams just got arrested too. Had a warrant out for him.
Is he arrested?
Wait, what?
So he was in. I was just reading it on our break. On October 8th, he and his brother were stopped in a routine traffic stop. His brother had a registered gun in the back seat, and Jameson had a gun underneath his seat, which was registered to him, but it wasn't a concealed weapon, so they arrested him or put him in handcuffs. So,
dang,
craziness.
It's too bad. But what's funny too was I was thinking last week during the waiver wire, I didn't have enough balls to say it, but I was gonna say, why don't you go pick up Khalif Raymond with Williamson out? Because I thought they like Khalif Raymond, and there was a chance.
I think we talked about him though. Yeah.
We may have during the live.
Yeah, I think we talked about him in the live.
Yeah.
Afterward, I was like, I think you talked about him, and I was like, yeah, he's definitely a good fill if Jameson's out for the suspension. So you did have the balls.
Another person I kind of would look out for is Van Jefferson. He looked good against the Giants.
He did.
Calvin Austin.
It might be a good. Yeah. So it might be not a committee because obviously Pickens is number one, but like between those two.
That deep shot to Pickens was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was a beautiful throw. I was like, did Russell Wilson throw that? Oh my god! Because even like the one from Jefferson, it was like behind him, and he had to like stop and rotate. Like he needs to stop doing that because when they go against good corners, it's going to be picks. So,
all right, we got hot takes, and then we got Rage Cage to end it. So let's do our Hot Take Tuesday. Nimmer, you have a hot take for us?
My hot take would be. Let me think about it. Let Darren go first.
Okay, let's go.
Drew touched on it a moment ago. We have Brock Bowers leading in receptions, but Jamar Chase he's coming for that Triple Crown. He's got the most TDs. He's at 7. And he's got the most receiving yards right now. But my hot take is that Chase does not beat Brock Bowers out in targets and receptions this year, which means Brock destroys the Triple Crown opportunity for Jamar Chase. And he only leads in touchdowns and only leads in reception yards. So, Brock, hat goes off to you. Keep getting those targets. Keep getting those freaking receptions, and don't let Chase get the Triple Crown.
Man, imagine if Brock had a good quarterback.
It'd be nuts.
Bro, he would have like 800 yards right now.
He'd probably have like 10 TDs too.
He would be.
But if he had a good quarterback, Adams would still be in the Raiders, so
Yeah, that's true.
you don't
Butterfly
it's like a
effect.
ripple effect, yeah.
Hmm.
My hot take would be the um yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think.
That's the hottest take you've ever had there, Nip.
Yeah, I don't know. I think everything I've said it just is more predictable. It's very
You're fine.
predictable.
It took me a while to think of one today too. We can
Shit, Drew gave me mine.
Do you have a rage cage, Nim?
Oh, I'm pulling it out right now.
Okay, so I'll talk about my hot take. Just watching the New York Giants this past weekend, I've come to the conclusion, even though I like some of the talent that they have on their team, I think they're going to be a top 5 pick in the draft. And I think next year, the quarterback suiting up for the Giants is Shador Sanders.
That, oof, that'd be
Wow, that's a hot take.
wild. I truly don't think he's a top 5 pick, let alone a first round pick.
A lot of analysts have him going top 3.
That's crazy, bro.
He's starting to get that crazy push. Like, I think before the draft happens, unless something crazy happens to end this season, there's going to be a lot of talk about Shador going maybe number 1 or 2 or 3.
Jesus.
That's gonna be interesting. I feel like, all right, my hot take is that Caleb Williams is going to be a bust, and he's going to be a what's his name?
Marcus Russell.
No, like the Panthers quarterback. Why am I doing a blank?
Young?
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. He's going to be a Bryce Young
Sam Bradford.
part 2.
You see
Yeah.
Bradford again.
he's gonna be a Bryce Young part 2. He just holds on to the ball too much. I mean, there's so many opportunities that he could have just been able. He should have won that game for the Bears, and Jaden Daniels is a much better quarterback and found a way to do it. So with a less better team. So
I think they need to trade DJ Moore away, and I think that was something I talked about weeks ago. Was that they don't use him
At all.
Waldron's offense? It keeps them into like the same 4 routes, the same freaking area of the field. Caleb doesn't get it to him. Like, he's just a waste of talent everywhere he goes. He needs to go somewhere that he can be an impact in the system. And like you see it on the field, he's so frustrated.
Like, he's open. Man. I want to see DJ have like a 1,200-yard season.
Yeah,
I do too.
It hurts watching him play, and like no one looks for him. I don't get it.
He just doesn't have a quarterback. I mean, think about last year when Justin Fields was actually playing well. DJ Moore popped off.
Yeah.
But when he doesn't have a good quarterback behind him, I don't know why they just don't throw it up. They don't trust him. I don't know what it is, but
it's like they can't see him. It's like he's invisible.
Yeah, it just doesn't make
dude's
sense.
6 foot.
Yeah, and he's fast as shit and runs great routes. He's mostly open all the time.
He just the timing. Just Caleb feels this freaking skosh of pressure, and then gets ankle tap, throws the ball out of bounds, pick, whatever.
His style it's just too much. I mean,
Yeah, the Bears are losing that division, 100%.
Yeah,
last place. I think they're last place in the division right now, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's get into the rage cage.
Okay, let me close my door 1 second.
We'll end with the rage cage. For people watching at home, if you don't want to hear the cussing, you better just turn the stream off right now.
It's time to skip.
Who wants to start?
Oh, let me get into character.
All right, let Darian. Last week when you got into character, I was dying. Oh my god, that was so perfect.
All right. I'm here.
Do you want to go?
I'm going right now.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah. And I ain't got too much to be mad at, but and you see, I'm getting real close to the screen and I'm looking at one person in particular. It's myself. It's my damn self. MJ said it best. You try to make a change, got to look at man in the mirror. I'm not happy right now. I am the reason why I am 3 and motherfucking 5. I'm playing cute. Drew told me today. I said, talk me off a ledge, Drew. I'm drowning. I'm about to jump. He said, Darren, you're just mismanaging your team. You got to stop playing cute. Start the players who produce and put them all out there. What are you doing leaving Montgomery on the bench? Idiot. That's me. Idiot. The points that I needed to win was right there. 6. He had 14. B Rob had 8. If I put Montgomery in, I wouldn't be sitting here. I'd be 4-4. Be happy days looking at that percentage. Oh, 69% chance of making it to the playoffs. I'm at 41 now. And whose fault is that? It's mine. Mine. I can't be mad. These players, they're doing what they can. But me as a manager, I'm failing myself. So ain't no point in saying, oh, some fan did this, some player did that. Oh, bad luck. No, it's me. It's my fault. I am the reason why I'm here. And for that, fuck you, Darian.
That was great. I love that.
That was hilarious.
Nim, why don't you bless
You
us
want me to
with
go?
why don't you bless us with your
All
rage
right.
cage?
So my rage cage isn't really about football. Okay. And I really hate this is the most touchiest subject in any conversation. Okay. It's politics. Okay. Now, my opinion, if you're a Democrat, that's fine. If you're a Republican, you have your views. Okay. That's not what I'm mad about. I'm not mad about those individuals that represent those specific parties. What I'm mad about is the marketing behind those two parties. Okay. It's not the commercials. It's not that random girl that streaked on the field a couple weeks ago. It's not, it's all over social media. It's not all that. It's these motherfucking flyers. Look at this shit. Look how many fucking flyers there is. Look, they're sending books. They're sending envelopes. Look how big this motherfucker is. Like, what the fuck? Look how many fucking flyers I've been sent. And you'd be like, oh, you probably saved this for a whole month. No, I saved this from the last time we did this episode. Literally a week. These are as many flyers as I have for the whole entire week. You don't want to hear the joke? Let me find it. Let me go through all these fucking flyers that I fucking got sent in the fucking mail. Fucking, where is it? There's one that fucking, here it is. Looked like a postcard, right? I was like, oh, cool. Somebody sent me a postcard. This is what it says. Hi, Josh. Thank you for being a voter. Who you vote for is private, though whether you vote is public record. Please vote on November 5th. Katie and Mila. And it's literally a handwritten letter. Look, these motherfuckers got a postcard, hand wrote, a postcard to Josh, who hasn't lived here in 2 years. What the fuck is this? You're filling up my fucking mailbox. Fucking knock it off. This is fucking ridiculous. Do you see how much paper this is, bro? Look at this. Look, there's so many. Like, it's so ridiculous that you're literally not only shoving commercials. I get commercials. That's fine. But fucking flyers? I have people knocking on my door. The fucking dogs are barking while I'm in a fucking meeting, and they tell me to vote for somebody. You coming and knocking on my door is not gonna be like, oh, you know what? I remember when that person came to my door. Yeah, I'm gonna vote for that person. No, I'm gonna go and do my own research and vote whoever the fuck I want to. Not because some random person fucking knocked on my door. What the hell? Go do something else. Go fucking live life, not go door to door. It was, bro, this is ridiculous. Like, I can't like fathom enough how many flyers this is. I wish I should have counted it before the episode. This is fucking ridiculous.
It's the text too. If you get those.
Oh my god, yeah. Or the random calls.
I had to send stop today. I had to send stop like 9 times for them because I kept getting new ones. I'm like, if I keep saying stop, why do I keep getting other numbers?
They send it to the next person, so it's a new WhatsApp number. Fucking assholes.
They're like, thank you for unsubscribing, and then this new number is like, hello.
And it's not just one party, it's both parties.
Yeah.
So it's not even just like, all right, I'm mad at this party. No, I'm mad at no, it's both parties. Both parties are giving me the same exact message. Trump is the devil. Kamala is an idiot. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's just like, it's so frustrating getting so many things. I'm like looking at my mailbox and it just covered in fucking flyers, and I'm just turning it around and putting it in my fucking recycling bin. It's just such a waste of trees, waste of money. It's so ridiculous. But yeah, the texts are even worse.
Man. So I was looking at my rage cage. There was a couple different ways I was going to go about mine. I hadn't really decided, but for some reason, as Nimber was just telling his story there, I got reminded of something that I just did when I got home today that pisses me off. So this is my story of events driving home. I missed the bus today to go to work, so I had to drive to work, which is fine. It's $12 to park. That sucks. And I drive home, and I'm like, you know what? I got to go get gas. So I go to the gas station, and this is the events that happen. Open up the gas thing on my car. Try to scan my card, my debit card. It says declined. And I was like, pretty sure I have money. I don't know what's going on here. So I was like, this must be a mistake. So I insert the card, and it says declined. And I was like, okay. So I go with my credit card, right? That one gets approved. And I come home. Put a full tank of gas in my car. And I get this notification on my phone that says, hey, you have some fraudulent things going on in your bank account. And I was like, what? So I look at my bank account, and I had $200 charges from this SMIK company. I don't know where that came from. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And I marked those as fraudulent. And I send it in, and they're like, okay, destroy your card immediately. So I did that. And then I go on my Chase, my other bank account, and look at my credit card balance. That same SMIK was the gas station. They charged me for the tank of gas that I put in, so I destroyed my card for no reason.
Wait, you spent $200 on gas?
No, it went to charge me $100 each time. I don't know why that was the case.
You spent $100 on gas?
No, I don't.
I think it could have been like a skimmer.
It was declined. Maybe it was a skimmer. I guess it was a tap.
Some of them. So I've seen some where they'll put like a skimmer on top of the tap too,
Hmm.
or like it'll slide above on top. So every time I like
Fuck.
physically grab even the taps, like I grab it just to see
Jeez.
because they are like they'll do it inside like 7-Elevens and QTs and shit where they put it over the actual
Mm.
like kiosk thing. I don't know what it's called, but they've even done it at the pumps out here in Dallas in other states. So I'm always like grabbing the shit, even if it's like the insert. I like try to find the
Yeah.
piece. I don't know. It's bad.
That
Well,
sucks. You just destroyed your card for no reason.
Let's hope they tried to skim your shit
yeah.
and that you did destroy it for a good reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
that's true.
now have to wait 5 business days. But
Yeah.
Yeah. So stupid. So dumb. I like right
That's
away.
fun.
It's like destroy your card, and I was like snip.
okay,
Didn't even think about it.
Yeah. And then I looked at my other account. And I was like, wait. So dumb.
that's pain.
That sucks.
But maybe I should go check my Chase account now. That'd be terrible.
Redact everything that you said on here.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. There was theft.
But I guess that's not really. No, I'm mad. I'm mad about it.
I'd be mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you have to wait 5 days just to use your debit card.
Yeah, that's bullshit. But that is everything from us. I know it was kind of a long show. Didn't really anticipate it to be that long. I think the snafu of getting Nimmer on and me trying to figure that out live kind of brought the show back a little bit, but it was fine.
Appreciate you. Thanks for letting me come in the second hour.
It was nice having you here. It was nice
Absolutely.
going over the division predictions. I really wanted to all of us to go over that together, so I'm glad you were here. Anything before we get out of here?
I should have a really good fantasy specific episode tomorrow and then hop it on to TikTok afterwards. So if you have any questions, trade talks, trade questions, feel free to hit our live and we'll answer to our best ability.
Did you guys buy costumes this year?
So we're doing a work group one. So we're all the Lorax
You should wear that on the live.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll wear it Thursday. I mean, that's when I'm wearing it. A coworker bought like the mustaches and eyebrows for all of us too. So
Yeah.
We should go. We should go live Thursday. That's like a Halloween little thing. That'd be fun. I'd like a onesie. That's probably what I'll wear for like the trick or treating, the Tigger onesie.
But
We can go by Mr. Clean.
yeah, white T-shirt, shave my face.
Yeah, exactly.
got to pierce the ear though.
Ooh,
Oh yeah, just wear the headphones. That kind of looks like an earring.
yeah.
No, but just my biggest message is just enjoy all the sports going on. We had a sports equinox on Monday, so just enjoy that. We have all 4 sports because before you know it, the summer is going to happen, and then we're going to be hoping to that any sport is on TV. So,
Yep.
enjoy it.
And happy Halloween. That is it from us. We will see you tomorrow.